Eagle Shift Studio. It is another edition of the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. Let me get this open right here. There we go. That was about an average opening right there. We are coming to you on Monday. It is the 9th day of December, and we are just hours away from the kickoff in Texas when the Bengals, our home team, is going to face the Dallas Cowboys. Two shit teams this year. And
exactly.
Jason, I'm not sure, but I think this game is another must-win for the Bengals.
Yeah, well, they've all been must-wins, but yes.
I mean,
this is a must-win only to save where I feel our buddy John Bates, we kept making the joke all season long that this is the week where friendships die because he's a Cowboys fan. So we'll see if we're friends tomorrow. I hope we are.
But I think that mathematically, if the Bengals don't win tonight, I think mathematically it's over. Is that right?
I've already put it mathematically out.
Well, I think mathematically they're still in it.
I'm just telling you.
I'm just saying
mathematically out.
So you're saying there's a chance?
No,
So
that's
you're
not what I'm saying.
There's a chance.
I am not. I really am not saying that at all.
Well, you'd be glued to the TV. I'm glad that you guys will be helping the ratings out tonight.
I'll be down at the Post watching the game, drinking beers, giving money to the Post 318.
Excellent.
So
Cleft Bite, 6,600.
It's beautiful.
that's where I will be. But yeah, we'll see. At this point, it's frustrating, but I'm still going to watch.
All right, so
it is what it is.
What do you think the score? Let's just do this. Let's get it out of the way. What's the score tonight? Ending score.
The
28-21.
The Bengals are in a situation where the only way they can win a game is to score every time they touch the football.
Correct.
And I don't have a good answer.
The defense is in a situation where they give up a score every time they take the field.
Correct.
It's probably going to be something like
it'll be higher.
42-37.
Yeah, I think
something like that.
That's more along the lines of
Yeah. I mean, Dallas can put some, when Dallas doesn't face a good defense, they can put some points on the board.
Well,
so I'm looking for a Dallas victory tonight. I'll say about 42-47.
Of course
37,
you are, because you hate the Bengals.
I don't hate the Bengals. I'm a realist.
You hate the Bengals.
I'm a realist.
Why do you hate the Bengals?
I do not hate the Bengals. I'm a realist.
The rumor on the street is you hate the Bengals.
Well,
He hates.
yeah, what street?
This street. Does it matter?
No, I don't hate the Bengals.
Okay, you dislike them. Hate might be too strong.
No, I'm a realist.
Okay.
When it comes to the Bengals.
Well, they got some fucking work to do. There's no doubt about that.
All right, so if they lose, it's Dan's fault.
How was your guys' weekend?
All
right, cool. Good.
Well, no, I think you had a better weekend than I did.
How do you know? I don't know what you did. I was on the road.
I know you were on the road.
I was on the road, but it was a good weekend.
I was on the radio Saturday night, so I worked a little bit this weekend. My job is work, believe it or not.
I respect that. I'm just giving you shit. It was a good time, but it was a lot. It was a lot of driving.
I'm not saying I'm chopping down trees or anything, but I'm working.
It was a lot of driving for a little bit of pleasure, but I had a nice time. Had some nice snow. Glad I didn't drive up Thursday because I heard it was Armageddon up there on Thursday, so it was safe. Friday was nice. Everything's running fine. Now I'm ready for the season. Let it snow. Bring it on.
Bring it.
A lot of driving for a little bit of pleasure. It sounds like it sounds like one of those things you hear on that show to catch a predator. You drove 16 hours.
Yeah,
so you can meet what you think is a 13-year-old girl you're talking with on the internet.
Usually
that's a lot of driving for a little bit of pleasure.
Usually that's the arresting officers are saying is they're handcuffing you and putting you in the back of the car.
Did you get to meet Chris Hansen? Is all I want to know.
No, it was a good time though, man. I mean, it was not. It's nice being out in the wilds of wilderness of Michigan in the snow and running a sled. So it was fun.
Did you pay a visit to your friend Gretchen Whitmer?
Gretchen Whitmer. Gretch the Wretch. I did not see her, although you could see her butt from space. It's that big. But I did not see Gretchen.
I didn't know she had that big of an ass.
When you see her.
That's the 8th grader that I was talking about prior to going live.
Well, here's the deal. So if
you're like a fucking lunch table bully.
I'm just telling you. So if you see her and you see her presser, and then you see a wider angle shot, they always catch her from about the waist up. She's kind of goth. Have you noticed she wears that dark black leather, and she's kind of gothic. She likes that look. So I despise her. I despise everything about her. So no, I did not see Gretch the Wretch, but it was like I said, it's nice getting. I was like walking. It was like walking into a Hallmark movie that we despise. All those movies that we hate that we've discussed before, without the fake snow. So it was kind of cool. That was cool.
Well,
I'm gonna apologize right now. The camera angle is all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah.
We had a technical difficulty on Wednesday
Well, I
during
noticed that
illegal
you're
shift.
full in frame. I see all of you.
people can see
Well,
us
because
on
I
t-
can't
on
get
TV.
and
I can't
see
get
none
you
of
two
me.
dumb numbnuts
Okay.
motherfuckers to
Well-
get in a position
Well,
to
Dan,
be able to.
Where,
get the
where do
camera.
you want me to move?
Well, we want you to.
Well, he wanted you to move this way. Well, it doesn't.
I
matter.
did move this way.
That's better.
I'm explaining that I fucked up the camera angle. I'm taking fucking ownership, but also the camera fucked up
Yeah.
on Wednesday.
There,
so
I moved over.
I had to go
Fixed.
get a new lens
Look, it's fixed.
on loan until I could figure
A
out whether
lens
our
on
camera
loan.
was fucked up.
Tell you what I'll do.
So
About
Tell-
that?
wait. I'll tell you what I'll do.
shit got all fucked up.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I will straighten out the camera situation here.
No, you just sit there and just keep talking.
I will
eighth grade
replace
bullshit.
the Soviet era.
You don't have to come here. You realize that, right?
Why can't you take criticism?
I totally can.
No, you can't. You get
It's pretty
offended.
fun.
I just put a $1,200 deposit on that fucking lens that's sitting in that bag to make sure if ours didn't work, we had one. So
the one that's about to fall off that table over there.
that's
that's-
sitting right there.
I know. It looks like it's right on the edge
It's
of
in
that
a
table.
padded. Jesus Christ!
I'm just
getting-
saying it could. If that dog runs in here, it could fall off.
Well, the door's fucking closed,
Wow,
and the
well,
dog
just-
can't open a door. Dan,
Not yet.
Well,
Jesus fuck.
stranger things have
All right,
happened.
never mind. I'm
That's all.
not gonna take ownership of anything. You guys have no idea what fucking happens behind the scenes. You just show up and you're just here.
You are the wizard behind the.
You're fucking a right. Thank you, Andrew,
You're
for
welcome.
actually acknowledging
You
that.
are the.
I have
wizard.
acknowledged that.
Rob didn't do it. Dan's
I
never done it.
acknowledge it all the time.
I am not kissing
That-
your ass.
You're the one. You're
You
the
guys
one
are-
who makes it possible for us to be on the YouTube.
You guys are dicks. So
and
let's
everything else.
I will tell you this.
let's get into it.
I'm not kissing your ass.
We're
but
done
I will
with
tell you
bullshit.
this. If you aren't here, I'm pretty sure that we'd be all thumb.
That's right.
We wouldn't know what we're doing.
So
You're the magic. You're the wind.
let's get into the first fucking story. We're done with that fucking bullshit. You guys are.
We'll have a little bit of Michigan back with it. Dude.
Yeah, that fucking
Feel like I'm on the front of the Titanic and he's holding me from behind.
that fucking stayed up north,
King of the world.
and you go like way north. So we have this story that Mr. Trump released a new fragrance, which I didn't know was happening. And when I saw it, I had our buddy John, difficult to look at pictures, to create a thumbnail,
That's a great thumbnail, by
which he fucking killed it. He
nailed
absolutely
it.
killed it.
He absolutely nailed it.
But I love the fact that, and this will be just a quick breeze over because we got a lot more important shit to talk about. But the fact that he featured Joe Biden in his ad with the quote, "Enemies can't resist." So he used this picture.
The guy is a marketing genius.
He's
a
picture there,
digital whiz.
which I think is just so fucking hysterical because it's perfect. Like whoever took the picture, his media guy, his publicist, whatever, whoever, his team, they grabbed that and they were like, "Oh, we have to use this.
It's
You
so
have
great.
to."
It's so great. And we were talking earlier. I think Jill was probably, open to, how should we say this? I think it's probably been a while since, how do we say this in a way that's not terrible?
Been a while since she's banged.
It's been,
I mean,
subtle.
you can just say it.
well, I mean, let's just say, if Joe can't walk, barely can talk, I'm fairly certain that, let's just say nothing else works.
she is looking at him pretty adoringly.
She's
there.
just longingly looking at him.
She in that picture.
Yeah,
that
she's-
picture
yeah.
captures a woman who is feeling something she's not felt for a long time.
That's right.
She is feeling
Warmth.
the power
Yes.
of sitting in proximity to the
Yes.
boss,
So
the guy who is really the boss.
A manly man.
That is something that she has not felt with Joe Biden
in ages.
probably ever since they met. She has never experienced that. in her entire time with Joe Biden, and she's realizing.
Isn't it look like she's kind of like? Isn't that a flirting look? I mean, when
Absolutely.
you describe it as a flirting.
Ask any woman.
She's like, oh,
who,
is that what power looks like? Oh, neat.
She's not. She feels it. She's feeling it.
Yeah, she
in her loins.
She wants to be feeling it.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And if Trump
Did you
is
say loins,
baby maker, whatever,
in her nether regions, When Trump is wearing that cologne, that's like.
So I put in
I
put in the description. I said I have no idea what it smells like. I'm gonna go buy it. Just
you're gonna go buy it
just because I want to know.
Fight.
Because I want to know what it is.
Scent of Trump.
But does it smell like dollar bills?
What's it called?
Fight.
Is that okay?
I think it's a musk.
And it's male and female. He has a male version and a female version.
Dude, I'm still milking a bottle of like Polo from the 8th grade.
I have no. Well, come on now.
I'm serious. I don't wear cologne, so I mean, it's.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Are you serious?
No, I mean,
you're a hairy man.
Well, I was going to be like the kids today and just axed up, just douse myself with a bunch of Axe and walk through the. Some kid walked past me to gym. I thought I was asphyxiated. I was like, Jesus Christ! These kids, they spray that shit all over themselves and they walk around. But
David J brought up something from a long time ago. She felt it in her front hole. You remember that? You remember? Nicely done, David J. Appreciate you.
My mom's never going to watch this show again, so that's okay. God.
Well, that is the politically correct term.
Front hole.
The front hole, yes.
Yeah. Nice. That's nice.
Because how dare us assume that someone is actually a woman?
Yeah, what is a woman? I like how Ketanji, what's her name? Ketanji Brown.
Jackson
Brown. She knew what a woman was now that she's sitting on the court, now that they're discussing transgender issues, but she didn't know what it was when she was being nominated. Whatever.
But I mean, how funny is that? He brings out the cologne, the fragrance for the women's, and you use that picture.
So we got
enemies can't resist.
Hold on, we've got cologne. Wait, just think about it. So we have cologne, we have watches, we have shoes. Plus all his
Trump's selling all kinds of shit.
I mean, that's my point. I mean, Trump is just a marketing freaking genius.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff like those are the, besides the trinkets, the stuff that he's signs and whatever. But
Harriet called us bad boys.
Oh, is she on here? No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
Oh, please don't tell me my mother's.
Yep.
No, Mom.
Harriet, we're really not.
Go do something else.
We're really not. I want to meet you though.
I didn't say it.
Andrew won't introduce me to you, but
they're happily living in Texas.
I know.
My dad.
We could have a phone call.
I called the other. Oh no. I called the other. I actually called the other day. My dad. I go, what are you doing? I'm making sausage. Leave me alone. Like, okay. Thought of the Seinfeld when they had us. Kramer and Newman were making sausage in the kitchen. That's my family.
See, Harriet said yes. She wants a phone call.
Okay, I'll get on that, Mom.
Jill Billy 007 said Trump's clone tagline should be "smells like success."
I like it,
which is
probably
factual. Factual. All right, so our next story that we had, which is, I mean, late. Well, I say late breaking, a couple hours ago. This Daniel Penny thing. How about that?
Big day.
How about Alvin Bragg completely fucking the dog as a DA when he lines him up for charges? He lined Trump up for charges. That didn't work.
Right.
And Daniel Penny has endured pretty much hell.
Yeah.
Since he did what I think any reasonable human being that able-bodied would do. And we breezed on it our last show, really, really quick. But I mean, Dan, if you were in a subway, or Andrew, if you were in a subway,
yeah,
and dude comes in, drops his coat, and says, "I'm going to kill everybody in here, and I'm willing to go to jail for life, and I don't care to die."
Right.
And you're threatening women and children.
Right.
Would you step into action?
Yes, I would.
And I'm going to ask you.
I would throw you at him.
It's a twofold.
Then we would hide behind your lifeless carcass.
Okay.
That's why you work out all the time.
But it's a twofold. Would you do it before this verdict, or would you? Or does that change you afterward?
Did it just get brighter in here? Or was it me?
Something just happened. I'm working on it.
We discussed this. We breezed on it the last time. I'll tell you, truthfully, I think any human being is now going to kind of have this in the back of their head. Why wouldn't you? But when things like that probably happen, I don't know that you have time to think, but you're probably going to try. I think it's going to make a lot of people pause before you try to be a good Samaritan situation in something like that. And I'll say this, and I touched on this. The lights are going crazy. In Cincinnati now we have a new prosecutor. Okay, in Hamilton County.
Oh yeah, somebody said that.
Connie Pillage.
Somebody said that this was going to be like the new.
Connie Pillage is now the new prosecutor, and I'll tell you this: let's say in this case,
she's a big believer in what they call restorative justice, is she not?
She's I don't know what exactly she believes in.
I know we have some judges who are anyway.
Yes, and she is very inexperienced. She's never really been in, she's never prosecuted a case.
She's run for a whole bunch of different offices. And she's like a professional candidate.
If
Right.
If this, I'll put it this way: if this case happened previously or today in Hamilton County, I know that Joe Dieters would not bring charges. If this case happens January 1st in Hamilton County, or in January in Hamilton County, I know that it's probably a good chance that you will be suffering charges. So, I mean, my advice, you tell me, Dan, am I wrong? I would be like, I'd pause, because in the heat of the moment, you're going to do what's right, what you think is right. I think I would. I think you would. I think Jason would.
Well, when it comes to situations like this, I always say, I would like to think that's what I would do in that situation. Right. I would like to think that if I thought I was in danger, one of my loved ones, a friend, someone or just even someone I didn't know,
right,
on the bus or the subway or the streetcar, for God's sake, which I've never been on.
Ride the streetcar much?
I've never been on the streetcar, by the way. But I have been to the subway system in New York. I've ridden the trains in New York. And I thought to myself, if I was there, so I know how tight those things can be. I would like to think that if I was in that situation, I would act similarly to what Daniel Penny did. And it would, that I would have to assess the situation in the moment.
I'm assuming you guys have watched I'm not going to say interrogation, but the interviews in the PD.
Yes.
And then the other interviews that they had that were presented at court. He was the exact same. There were, the interview right after the fact, he had no idea that Neely had died at that point. And those cops, as far as what cops do, they did a really good job because they just led him down a path and let him do it.
Well, like we discussed before, they knew the guy was dead, so I think they were deceptive.
Exactly. They led him down that deceptive path.
Right.
And I was listening to Drinking Bros, and they played a clip, and I didn't want to pull the exact clip that they pulled, but he told the exact same story. And he was like, look, I was tempering my grip on his resistance of just holding him until the police. And he was like, I was begging for in my head, I was begging for the police to get there. But he goes, it's only a few minutes between stops. And somebody said, he was like, he had alluded to, somebody said that, it was 15 minutes that he was holding this dude.
No.
He goes, you could see chest rise and fall. Yep. He was still breathing.
He was breathing when the police got there.
Exactly.
He was alive and breathing when the police got there.
And when he stopped breathing, the police did not want to do CPR because they didn't want to get Hep C.
Right. And
what they said.
And
so shame on them for one.
And
because then that's a whole nother issue that needs to be fucking brought up.
Right.
Because if you're a public servant, you're trained in CPR. Police officers are trained.
That's fact.
You see somebody stop breathing, you do CPR. We don't do mouth to mouth anymore. It's chest compressions. They chose not to do that. This poor fucking guy has sat in prison or jail, not prison, has sat in jail. I think he made bail, but still had this lingering over him.
Oh, do you think he slept this whole time?
Fuck
Seriously.
no. And then when you go into deliberations, then they get deadlocked on what was I can't remember the charge because there were two charges. I can't remember which one they got deadlocked on. It was it the manslaughter charge?
I believe it was it negligent?
It was the more serious charges they were deadlocked on.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Exactly.
And that's why we thought we were speculating that they were going to come back this week with a guilty verdict on the lesser charges. I will say this. Would we do it? You don't really, everyone could say, yeah, I'll do it, but you don't know till the time happens.
You
number
hope
one.
to say that you would, but yeah, no, I agree with you.
I think
Yeah.
the bigger point is, would I hope that we lived in a community where the prosecutor would weigh, not succumb to public pressure like Alvin Bragg did. And I think that we sadly now have a prosecutor here in Cincinnati. I'll put it this way. I'm not going to go out of my way to be in situations here in Cincinnati, Hamilton County, where I'm even going to be presented with that opportunity, because I don't think this prosecutor will show me the deference based on her statements, her experience, her actions, her mindset, her party affiliation, her party's policies, or at least their leanings. And so
let me rephrase
if it happens in Cincinnati, I feel bad for anybody that might be in this situation, because I think they're going to be prosecuted and their life's going to be screwed till they're cleared, hopefully by a jury.
Let me rephrase this question.
And, well, let's say ask you this. Let me ask you this. Daniel Penny, okay, innocent or not guilty. So where does he go from here?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
because he cannot. You had the clip of the Black Lives Matters agitator activist actually, saying, well, making this a racial issue, which it was not. Race was not the motivator in this. Had nothing to do with it. It was just a byproduct, a simple, circumstance. And now he said something like, well, should it be open season on white people? Should we do this to white people so that, and I find it very offensive that not Daniel Penny, but Neely's family, he was arrested 45 times prior, plus or minus 45 times. The system kept letting it out. His family didn't give a shit about him, right?
He was living on the street, had a history of mental illness.
Right.
And at that time, his family
wrote him off.
Didn't lift a finger to help him out, give him a place to live, a place to sleep,
or help,
a warm bed at night, right. Seeking proper medical attention.
But now that he's dead,
now they have a chance to cash in. Sure.
Now that his body's worth more than his life ever was.
Yeah,
what exactly. Now they're like, oh, I miss him so much, and we need justice.
Yes, exactly.
Well, you didn't give a shit about him when he was alive, but now all of a sudden you're painting him to be some sort of, you loved him and blah 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 blah. It's a bunch of shit.
Well, they're trying to make him the new George Floyd. It's exactly what they're trying to do. They're going to want a statue fucking made. They're going to want a payday. And I say statue as in a payday. They're going to want a payday out of this bullshit.
A buddy of mine is a doctor, and he tells this story about a patient he was involved with many, many years ago. And this patient was, came in off the street, was homeless on the street, had obvious drug problems, was lingering in the hospital for days and days and days at a very, expensive rate to the taxpayers of this county.
Okay.
And so the family winds up lawyering up after this person expires, and they sue the hospital for millions. Right? Wrongful death, didn't get the treatment they deserved, all this stuff. So he's got to testify in the trial. Okay. And so he was, and he tells the story about how he's on the witness stand, and all the family members are there in the courtroom. And so when the opportunity arose, he said, well, what's interesting is, I was with this patient on this day and this, it's all there in the records, right? Saw this patient, 3 times on this day, 2 times on this day, all this. And he says, all the time that I spent with this patient, he looked at the family and he said, I never saw you. I never saw you, never
right.
saw you,
right.
you or you ever in that room one time,
right.
giving a shit about this. This person died, spent the whole time in the hospital alone, died on their own. No one around to comfort them. No family around. No one even came to claim the body.
Right.
But then after they're dead, they sue the hospital. Now that this guy's dead, and they didn't give a shit about this guy before,
right.
Now they're going to claim, oh, poor, pitiful us.
Sure, that's what it works.
And they're going to sue the city of New York and probably, get a nice 7-figure settlement out of it.
Well, I hope that common sense prevails in New York City. I wouldn't want to be. I really wouldn't want to be in Minneapolis either, because with their nut job.
Well, they
governor.
already caved. They already caved to Black Lives Matter. And
I
now
understand.
Black Lives Matter is calling for more trouble on the streets.
Right. That's my point. I wouldn't want to be in any city that has a large Black Lives Matters presence in as so far as the ones that are calling for violence, and especially that they're calling for violence in New York City.
So here, let's play this. Let's play this little
Diddy?
little ditty.
Diddy?
Fucking
You still
bullshit.
say Diddy?
We'll get into
Like
that
Pete- like
towards
Pete
the
did?
end.
We need some
What did
black
he do?
vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Right.
I'm tired.
Tired.
We need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump
go
up
again.
and choke us
No.
and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
You're dumb. You're ignorant.
No, he's an
You're dumb.
He is a parasite. He's an opportunist, and let us not forget that Black Lives Matters embezzled. They didn't use the money for anything they said they were going to use it for.
Yeah.
How many homes did they own?
Exactly.
And that gentleman is simply a race pimp, like there's been other race pimps before him. And I hope there's no violence in New York, but we'll see what happens tonight.
I had our buddy Zeke Arkham on my radio show Saturday night, and
I love Zeke.
and we talked about this, and I think he actually knows this guy
Mm.
who was spouting off there.
We should have had.
And
him.
I asked him what he thought about BLM, coming up and making all this noise right now, and he's of the opinion that they don't have the same kind of juice they used to have.
They've overplayed their hand.
Their shakedown model is really ineffective now, because it worked initially, right? When they shook down all the big corporations and said there was going to be trouble, and the money came flowing in. Right? I mean, were you amazed by that when Black Lives Matter started shaking these corporations down, and they were getting $10 million from this company and $15 million?
Was
from
I
that
amazed
company?
or sickened? They're two different.
Well, I mean, but it was.
Well, then it only took a couple. It only took
Yeah.
a couple to actually investigate and be like, "Who are you actually?
Yeah.
And who are you?"
Well, there were a couple of avowed not communists, but what were those ladies? The two ladies who I used to know. Kalors was the one woman's name, and
Oh shit! I don't
yeah,
remember.
but they're avowed socialists, and they're talking about when they go out and get all this money, and they didn't help the communities at all. They've
No.
never helped put a black kid through college. They've never raised money for they raise money on the backs of dead black people,
Well, they're
but never funneled any of that money back to the family.
They're exactly like your doctor's testimony.
Yeah.
Were they in the hospital room?
No,
Did they ever
absolutely
go
not.
visit the patient?
But they've got a hell of a real estate portfolio right now.
Well, few
You
of
know,
them do.
yeah.
Few of them do.
A few on the upper.
Well, I remember I was sickened, and I was even more sickened when we had let us not forget, even here in Anderson, your local Democrats had a protest on Beachmont Avenue where they stood out there. That's when my business was open on Beachmont. And I watched them stand out there with white fists in the air, like somehow they were down with the struggle on Beachmont Avenue. The liberal women of Anderson Township,
God.
Ohio, that that they were down with the struggle. And I was just shaking my head. I was like, you guys don't do anything. You don't volunteer. You don't help. But if you see an opportunity to make a political statement or to sow civil discourse, you jump all over it. It's disgusting.
So I threw this pic up that I saw. It says, "I'm saving this pic for the next time somebody posts a pic of somebody getting their ass beat," and they ask why nobody was helping. Him coming out of the fucking courthouse,
Yeah.
in fucking handcuffs. Fucking moronic. It's absolutely moronic. I understand the judicial system has to work. I get it. But there's no reason this should have even gotten to this point.
Well, that's the point.
when
Jason.
you have all the fucking witnesses, you had people of color, as he stated, his words, in quote, people of color calling him a hero, and still in quotes, he said, "I don't consider myself a hero. I did what I thought was right.
But elections, but my point here is elections have consequences. So just like the state of or the city of New York elected an incompetent district attorney, we've now done the same thing here in Hamilton County with the prosecutor, an incompetent prosecutor, and elections sadly have consequences. So when you elect incompetent people to positions of importance, shit like this happens. And I hope it doesn't happen here. That's my comment. I hope it does not happen here.
Well, it turns out Daniel Penny wasn't the only person who met a threatening person on the New York subway. A guy named Jordan Williams did too. But Jordan Williams
actually David, ironically, you just pulled this up. I just saw this comment in the
he stabbed
a
man
chat.
To death on the
David
New York
J
subway.
just sent me
What
a picture.
Tell me the difference in that case, Dan,
well,
because I think I know.
Well, let me read you the narrative here. The incident broke out just after 8 p.m. Police responded to a 911 call of a man stabbed while aboard the train. When officers got to the train station, they found 36-year-old man who had been stabbed in the chest. The man was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Law enforcement sources told NBC New York that his name is Quadrego, the guy who died, had been harassing multiple passengers while acting belligerent and erratic toward others on board. He may have been under the influence of drugs or alcohol, sources said, but a toxicology report will determine that if that was the case. Williams' girlfriend was one of the people that this perpetrator had been harassing, with an assistant district attorney revealing in court that Williams told the guy to stop harassing his girlfriend and pushed him away. I don't know about you, but that sounds a lot like the Penny Neely situation, except that a knife to the chest is a whole lot more likely to cause the death of a person than a Brazilian jiu-jitsu restraining hold. Right. This dude is 20 years old. And you can see his picture.
There's
right
the difference
there.
Right there.
And that's a fit, young man.
Right.
I mean, it looks like he's very capable of defending himself. I know they can't see it.
Well, let's describe it.
I can pull it.
But the only difference between these two guys is that this guy, Jordan Williams, is black and Daniel Penny is white.
Absolutely.
No charges ever brought against Jordan Williams, who put a knife in the guy's chest.
Right.
Okay. And look, I'm not saying Jordan Williams did anything wrong.
No.
He was protecting people. He was protecting his girlfriend, other people on the subway. Right. This guy was being belligerent, scaring people, threatening to harm others. This guy stepped up and put that dude down. So this guy doesn't face any charges, and Daniel Penny does.
Well, when you have an incompetent prosecutor who looks at things in the prism of race, yes.
And I fear the prosecutor that we have in Hamilton County will act similarly if a similar situation happens.
I would venture to say that I'm going to go way out on a limb here. I think Alvin Bragg's probably a lot more qualified than Connie Pillage is. Could be a prosecutor. I'll put it out. I mean, if that helps you sleep tonight, good luck. How's that?
Yeah, here it is. Yeah,
David got the picture.
Right when you pulled that up, it was ironic because I literally just saw that.
So I was ready for this show today. So there's a difference right there between the two guys.
I will say this: the hurdle for his family, the civil suit that will be coming by his family, that is now crushed, that their formerly abandoned father, son, whatever is now dead, is going to be very much more difficult because Penny was found innocent or no charges, not guilty. Mm-hmm. So that lawsuit's going to be a whole lot tougher, even though in civil cases, obviously the bar is lower, but it's not, I take some solace in that. But so we started this discussion, Penny, I would, get a haircut, move to Amishville, Pennsylvania, maybe, or somewhere further away from New York than that, maybe Arizona, Hawaii, change your name to.
I don't know. I think I bet he probably writes a book. He probably goes on a speaking tour.
Yeah, but
I think there's a lot of different groups that
can't live in New York.
No, maybe not live in New York, but there's a hell of a lot of other places I'd rather live than in New York.
No question.
But let's look at it financially. I mean, all right, so
he has $3 million in his fund for his defense. I checked that earlier.
So he's got.
It may go up because I don't know what the final legal bill is to him. But so I know that they raised $3 million.
They raised $3 million.
Do you guys know what his? I asked this before. What was his occupation? Pennies.
I do not know.
I know he was a student.
Oh, so he was a student. So
He was going to school. He was
a Marine, and then he was going to school.
Correct.
Okay.
And I don't know what he did for occupation wise.
Maybe one of our lists. He was studying to be an architect. You sure it wasn't a urban planner?
Urban planner.
Everything circles back to Seinfeld eventually in my little mind.
Dumbest show ever.
Oh, shut
That's
up.
a great show.
The greatest show
I love
ever.
Seinfeld.
It's the dumbest
so
show ever. But anyway,
no soup for you.
I can't grab a hold of that one though. I do like that part. But yeah, so if that 3 million or if it goes up, you said what's next for him?
Yeah.
He's going to get sued civilly.
Right.
So you hope that the donations are still going to go in to help him there.
Sure.
Because if not, he's fucked.
Right.
So I mean, potentially, he's 26 years old. I mean, his prime fucking years are going to be screwed, depending on how this civil suit goes, and whether he has the money to pay for a fucking attorney. You would hope that some big wig attorney is going to come in and just, grab onto his name and be like, dude, I got you. You would hope.
I would bet, how about our buddy Stu Scheller?
Yeah.
What's he doing these days? He's on a,
speaking
he
tour.
Wrote a book. He's on a speaking tour.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Penny's going to have the same sort of path.
Yeah.
Open up for him.
That makes sense.
Future.
Yeah, but
I think there's a lot of conservative groups that would like to
Jill said
to have him in.
Jill said he should start his own Brazilian jiu-jitsu training.
There you go. He start his own dojo.
That's actually pretty damn funny.
That is a very good idea.
That's actually pretty damn funny. A whole chain of them all over the United States.
Tagline: self-defense when it's all on the line.
That's right.
Oh my Jesus Christ.
She should be on the show.
She's fucking on it today.
That's one smart woman right there.
She's on an elliptical right now.
She is one smart woman.
She's literally on an elliptical.
And exercising?
Yes.
Wow.
That brain is working overtime right there.
Well, here you can figure out our tech issues too when you get home on. Love you.
That's awesome.
That's good. No, but I mean that's scary though. That's scary as a 26-year-old kid. I remember when I was 26. Can you imagine having all of that shit fucking thrown at you?
No.
Nah, no way.
God damn. And I mean, I know he spent a little bit of time in jail, but I believe he got out. If I'm correct in my thinking, he got out.
I think he did.
But like to Andrew's point, did he sleep? No. I don't know how you could sleep.
I don't know how you could sleep.
Well, I think people who look at this clearly understand that Alvin Bragg was simply using this guy as a means to further the agenda, and so there was obviously political considerations here. It was not a quest for justice.
No, it
was a quest for more bona fides from the extreme left in this country.
Yeah.
And that's really, all that matters to him. Because do you think this guy politically wants to stop at the DA's office in Manhattan?
No, he's
got his eyes set.
What's the next step for you think, mayor?
I don't know, mayor, or maybe I don't know, Secretary of State in New York, something like that.
See, I don't think this plays well out. I don't think that. Well, although New York City does carry the state of New York a lot voter-wise because of the numbers, but this doesn't play. I'm sure this doesn't play well outside of the confines of the boroughs in New York. So, meaning, I don't think that Alvin Bragg's particularly endeared by anyone else in New York State. So, we'll see. But he's, what's he now? He's
that's two big L's for this guy on the scorecard.
2.
Yeah,
one more.
So,
yeah. 0 for 2. 0 for 2, Alvin.
That doesn't go over too well at Democrat headquarters.
And what was the cost to the taxpayers
Albany,
in New York? It's not like New York's rolling in the dough. So, what was their cost for all this stuff? The millions of dollars. So
I'm gonna play this video that you sent me, Andrew, and it's long, but we won't play the whole thing. I'm gonna skip through. But listen to his dad. And I don't know if it was the
whose dad are we gonna hear?
It was Neely's dad.
Oh, okay, all right.
But this other dude that was talking, I don't know.
The attorney.
That's his attorney.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
if it's the right video that I think.
And that's what I thought. It's a little long, but we're not going to play the whole thing.
Yeah, you can
we'll skip through
whenever you want.
Outside court after a jury found Daniel Penny not guilty of criminally negligent homicide in Neely's death on the New York City subway. Let's listen.
This takes a sec for her to come in.
Let us know that our lives have value.
Yeah, that's what I
George Neely
thought.
was choked to death
No, he wasn't.
by someone who didn't care if people was telling him to stop. Last week, the jury they couldn't decide on the top charge, but they come back this week and they give up on us. The family's hurt. I promised this family that we would get justice. We're still going to do that. We're going to move forward with our suit. The district attorney did a good job, but the jury in this case let us down. So now here's what we have. We have a call to action, because you have to do something with this anger and with this rage. Our call to action is to take care of each other. We can't rely on outside people. If we see someone asking for food, we have to take the responsibility to give it to them.
All right, so this guy's he's trying to make the whole fucking city like chill the fuck out. But I want to get to where his dad is. Stand by.
I don't know what the jackets say on the back. I can't figure that out.
Clucks Brooders. Because I was wondering the same thing when you sent this to me. Or Busters. Sorry. Clucks Busters. Yeah.
I miss my
Dad's
son.
never been around.
My son didn't have to go through this.
Mr.
I
Martyr.
didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now?
Who wrote that for?
I had enough of this.
And
You didn't even know your son, you lousy piece of shit.
And real quick,
Fucking
they're
liar.
gonna bring in the fucking mom of was it Eric Werner? I can't remember his name exactly. They're gonna bring in a mom from somebody that a cop put a chokehold on, where she got the chokehold ban
Oh yeah.
put in. They're bringing in somebody's mom from like 10 years ago.
Hey
or
man,
something.
let me tell you this. New York City is swirling in the toilet, about to go down, about to be flushed, right? Crime is going up. I mean, if you compare the crime rate now to what it was like after Giuliani was in there for his term, I mean, New York City is going down the tubes. This will only exacerbate and accelerate the situation in New York City.
It's so bad. Eric Adams said the other day he's ready to cooperate with Trump and get the illegals out of the city. But that's
Eric
how
Adams is not conservative.
that's how bad it is.
Yes.
But here's how this bullshit starts. I'm sorry, I keep trying to go back. To
Oh,
find a spot.
are we gonna hear from the mom now? Here we go.
Look like the police.
Mom of the year. Here we go.
Good morning, everyone. Here we stand once again in front of this unjust system. I stood here 10 years ago because they did not give justice to my son with the chokehold. I fought hard to get the anti-chokehold bill passed, which did pass. But it shouldn't only be for police officers, it should be for civilians also.
Oh.
No one deserves to be choked to
For the
death.
audio listeners, this is outside the courthouse. Obviously,
And,
you can hear the chanting.
We're in that courtroom and people are cheering for the verdict.
Yeah.
They made the loudest noise. The judge did nothing. But when his father spoke out, they put him out the courtroom.
Yeah.
Is that justice
Yeah.
or what?
Take it up with the
We can't
prosecutor.
allow this to keep going on. We have to fight this system.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's essentially all that you can go find it. That is ABC News. You can go find it if you want to watch the rest of that. But
Dribble.
it's all fucking bullshit.
Dribble.
In the fact that any normal fucking person, let's just hypothetically say that it was Daniel Penny that walked in, threw his coat down, and said, I'm going to kill everybody on this train. And a black dude, black Marine, wrestled him down to the ground, got him in a rear naked choke, and just held him. Will we hear anything about it?
We
It's already been
wouldn't
proven.
be talking about this right now.
Dan
Correct.
has the exact same thing.
Yes.
Except a knife to the chest instead
Right.
of a chokehold. A little more direct cause and effect.
Slightly more aggressive.
I mean, a weapon's involved, so that does change it. I get
Well, he
it.
was
That
still-
changes it.
I mean, chokehold, knife to the chest.
But would you see all of these people outside of
No.
a fucking courthouse?
No, these are race hustlers in the vein
they're-
of
turning
Al
it into
Sharpton
a race issue.
at all. These are race hustlers. This is how they get their power.
Where is
and their money.
anorexic Sharpton?
Oh,
Where's he at?
They're railing on him. He's in the shitter right now because they're railing on him about what was it? He's in trouble with the Democrats.
Did he
over
not get
over
his soul
something.
glow put
I
out?
don't know if they manage to mount a demonstration sometime this week or over the weekend. I would wager there's a good chance Sharpton shows up.
Fucking David J says, make fuck around and find out great again. It's factual. It's factual.
But let's hope that none of us and none of the people that watch this show or listen to us are ever in this situation where they have to make this decision.
Yes.
But this guy did not go on that train. Daniel Penny did not go on that train to hurt anybody or to get this guy in a chokehold.
Yeah.
He was responding to a shitty situation that was brought about by the guy that came on the train losing his mind.
The guy that decided
Criminal.
The guy that decided to fuck around and find out.
Right. So, I mean, I love these people, how they just leave a lot of shit out. Hey,
Thank God the jury did the right thing.
thank
though.
God the
Thank
jury
God for that. I was holding out
did.
hope that they would, and they did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is the big thing.
Well, Gray said it's too cold to protest. He's up in Minnesota right now. So
Well,
it's too cold to protest. I get it.
That's why they light shit on fire.
We actually we're actually very, very mild today, which shocked the shit out of me. But
That's why they burn everything. It's just
December, 55 degrees. Weird.
crazy.
It's fucking weird. Where we want to go next? So we've got this. I mean, this will be a real quick breeze topic in the fact that Trump said he'll most likely pardon Capitol rioters on day one for the January 6th committees. Committee members should be, and some committee members should be jailed. Which
I wish he didn't say that.
right,
And
he
the
could have
reason-
worded it a little bit.
No,
differently.
I don't have a problem with saying the nonviolent, as we discussed, the nonviolent January 6th protesters should be pardoned on day one, hour one, minute one, maybe.
So let me find out.
But
keep talking.
I don't like it when he says and this is Trump, right?
And that's a headline, by the way.
I know, but because I don't think there should be these blanket pardons given like to Fauci or to any of the people on that committee that destroyed evidence, because they did. I don't think we have blanket pardons should be allowed just to protect them from something they may have done wrong. So, I mean, I think we should investigate, and
I'm trying to find
if
his
Trump
quote
wouldn't
here.
say that, it wouldn't then give credence to what Biden might want to do by trying to preemptively give blanket pardons to these people.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard of such a thing as a preemptive pardon.
I haven't either.
Isn't it customary to be pardoned for something that you did,
Well,
something
or
that
some,
you've
or been accused
convicted
of, or convicted, right?
Convicted of, yeah.
Right. So I don't understand that either, but
I'm trying to find the quote in here, Andrew.
they
but
said the closest thing was Nixon, that they kind of gave like a blanket pardonish type thing to Nixon. They're like, we absolve him of all the crimes that he did, and that he kind of thought about doing something like that.
Here it is.
But that was-
It later in this article. I mean, that's obviously a headline. It's a headline teaser that you're going to click on, right? But it said Trump said there may be some exceptions to his pardons if somebody was radical and crazy, in quotes, and pointed to some debunked claims that anti-Trump elements and law enforcement operatives infiltrated the crowd. So it's that headline is salacious, and obviously we're going to look at it. We knew that was going to happen regardless, but the fact that he's going to actually look at, if you were a fucking asshole though, yeah, you're probably not going to get pardoned.
I'm fine with that. I'm just
Yeah.
talking about when he says that some people on the second part of
Yeah.
the headline might go to jail. I mean, look, I don't want to give any fuel to the Democrats or to Joe Biden or whoever's running it, maybe Jill, running the administration.
Well, she's smelling the perfume, bro.
Right, because I saw her eyes. I mean, she's enamored. But I don't want to give any credence to the Democrat or to Joe Biden doing these blanket, because I think it'll make it. I'll put it this way. I want to see my especially after listening to Dan interview with Brad Winston today. and that just scratched a little bit of the surface. And I'd love to read that report. Could you read it to me?
I can forward you the link.
Is there an
if you
audio
would like
version?
that.
Do you offer?
No, he
an
wants you
audio
to
version?
read it to him every night before he
Do you
goes to
read it
bed.
me? Do you offer the audio version?
Well, we
See, I always,
might have to negotiate a price on that.
Come on.
I always knew there was something weird with you, Andrew.
No, but my
and now I
point-
just figured it out.
Look, my dream is to see Anthony Fauci prosecuted.
Yes.
I'd like to see Anthony Fauci in the situation that Penny is in. I'd like to see Anthony Fauci faced with lawsuits. I'd like to see him have legal bills out of his mind. I'd like to see him not be able to sleep at night. And I'd like to see, because of the lives that guy and has ruined, the businesses that he's ruined, I think Anthony Fauci has committed crimes that he will never, ever pay for. And I'd like to see his life freaking ruined financially, socially,
Yeah.
economically.
Which at the time was not supposed to be allowed. And he admitted that, these papers got in front of me as the head of NIH,
I pulled,
the,
I pulled this out real quick. But
the
we'll be back in.
virology at the NIH. His job was to sign off, give final approval to these huge amounts of money that would go to all these different places. The grant for this, grant for that, grant. A few billion here, a few billion there, no big deal. And he admitted that he didn't have time to read all the documentation. He just signed off on it.
Let it go.
And as far as anyone being responsible for an accounting of that money, that's someone else's job.
No,
That's a different department. That's not under him. So he's like, yeah, I signed off of it, but I didn't really know what I was signing. And that's supposed to pass for responsible leadership in our government today.
The part that really pisses me off about all that is when Fauci was like, they were pushing their narrative that, it didn't start in Wuhan. It started in a wet lab or wet market.
Yeah.
And then there was the emails that they're like, don't use my official email because that could be FOIA. Use my, I'm a dick at gmail.com or whatever it is. So I'm really hopeful that during the next 4 years, and I'd love to have Brad on. I'd love for you to do a follow-up.
This is going to piss you off, Andrew, but
I'm always pissed off.
but
But I mean, what are the ramifications? When will someone pay? When will we hold someone accountable for that dark chapter in American history that we just went through?
Well, there's going to be a chat showing up on the screen there, and I'll let you answer it because I know it's going to make you happy.
Happy or pissed?
Well,
What Fauci did? No, I can't, because if I have to, hey, I was about to say dipshit, but I didn't want to. So anyway, if I have to, if I have to,
God, I love it when I get.
If I have to explain to you what Fauci did, then we just can't have a conversation. I'd love to have the conversation with you. Actually, I really wouldn't, because your mind is so closed. Anthony Fauci, I mean, just the little bit that we know, and Dan's going to give me the audio version of that report.
There is no audio version.
Well, they're not yet. But
You're going to read it.
You're going to read it.
It's an audio book.
But my point, it's 500 pages. You could do that. But my point is that Anthony Fauci, I think, will go down as when history does finally look back and judge him fairly. I think that Anthony Fauci is going to be found to be culpable. He is a criminal. He's committed crimes almost against humanity, wouldn't you say, Dan? I mean, with the bullshit that he pulled with funding the lab there, and then claiming that it wasn't. He exacerbated the situation by saying it wasn't a lab leak and it was a natural occurring thing, and just put up roadblock after roadblock.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is bioweapons research. And that is exactly what he was doing. And despite the fact that there was a ban on this, at best, they knew they were absolutely walking that razor's edge line about legality and illegality.
At best.
At best. At worst, they were way across the line, and they were doing everything while they were in the
knew they couldn't do it.
They
in the
were
United
guilty
States.
while
Right.
they were doing it and
Right.
doing everything they could to cover it up.
Right.
and cover their trail
Right.
as they were doing.
So Anthony Fauci acting like the hero, that just pisses me off 5 ways to Sunday.
Yeah.
He's no hero. The guy is culpable in all this, and the deaths that he's responsible for by his road blocking and covering his ass is led to so many more deaths that needed to be done. Need I remind everybody, now that a stupid question was asked, remember when Trump put the travel ban in?
Yes.
The very first thing he did, he put the travel ban in.
We
right?
talked about that this morning too.
You did?
Yeah.
I must have been brushing my teeth. Everyone labeled it xenophobic. The Democrats all got on board. Nancy Pelosi goes to the Chinese. Remember, she went to San Francisco, went to the Chinese market.
Yeah.
And was
Come
like,
on out,
"Come on
everybody.
out,
It's fine here. Yeah.
Order
Yeah.
Chinese food. It's great." And they blasted him. Turns out he was exactly right by trying to isolate China from the travel, at least from the United States. Might have slowed it down, the spread of it, and I'm sure it probably did, but they got no credit for that. It just got hate. So, and that was Anthony Fauci as well. He knew damn well where this thing started. So those are the crimes he committed. I'd love to see one day. I would love to see him face the music and be responsible for his utter and complete culpability in that pandemic, or as I call it, the scandemic.
The scamdemic.
That's it.
Absolutely.
All right,
So-
we got a couple other things.
Like
I'm
Kamala
gonna play
Lydia.
I'm gonna play the video you sent me.
Yeah,
the
this was
side by side.
and this it actually goes back to some of the things we were talking about before, because the Democrats just throw all this stuff out there. I mean, they're taking a page out of Obama's playbook, talking about, because Obama would do what? Create the straw man, right? Throw these canards out there, set things up that weren't true, and then say, well, Republicans do this, this, and this to address this situation that was totally fake. And then so this is what the rest of the Democrats are doing now when they're talking about Trump. So this is a clip of you want to play the Joe Biden one first? You want to play the CNN one first?
Well, I was gonna play this one.
Okay. Well, this is totally different then. This is
see, this is where
I know. Well, I mean, just because I send them to you doesn't mean I have to play them exactly in that order.
no, we put an order.
I know.
We put an order before we started this. Okay, so which one are you
All
running?
right. This was the that one right there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I don't know
is-
why the lights are doing.
Yeah,
that.
this is
I can't control it.
obviously Jim Acosta there is anchoring. I don't know who the other dude on it said is, but listen to this woman complain about Trump, and then we'll follow up after she goes on her little bit of a rant here.
Let me make sure I'm on the right one. That one.
Andrew, I think you're going to like this.
I might be deported because I'm a naturalized citizen. And Stephen Miller, who is Donald Trump's deputy chief of staff, has said that they're going to embark on a denaturalization program. So I could be deported, my citizenship could be taken away, and my children could be deported because they have birthright citizenship. So this is not what the country voted for. Let's be very clear. Americans voted for Trump because of groceries, because of lowering costs. He has not talked about that one bit. What this country did not vote for is to deport the 11 million undocumented immigrants who do critical work for our economy, who have injected $7 trillion into our economy. And
Really?
what Americans want is a solution to immigration. They want expanded legal pathways, and they do want more stronger, smart border security, which is exactly what Democrats are talking about. And Democrats have always been the ones willing to work with Republicans on a solution, and it's been Republicans that have always pulled the rug from under our feet.
I don't know that woman's name, but she is an imbecile.
Well,
She really is.
she should be deported for her hair dye job, because that's horrible. I mean, that's just terrible. When she turns one way, it's almost like Two-Face in Batman. But no, everything she said was a lie. They're not going to. She is a naturalized citizen here, and Trump's not going to deport her and strip the citizenship of my children. She was on a rant there. She was just foaming. She obviously suffers from TDS badly. I think you know what she needs: some fight cologne.
That's what
Might smell
she
lovely.
needs to have a
on
little
her.
conversation with Jill and
Her and
find
Jill,
out what that was all about.
correct. I think she needs. I think she suffers from what Jill was suffering from too.
Well, there wasn't a real
can't
man in
fucking
proximity
listen
to her there.
Well, with that
Obvious.
hair, do you
Oh
blame?
my
I
God,
mean,
that's unbelievable.
the hair job. It's like, look, here's $1. Go get a rat. Here's a quarter.
Go get a rat.
But this is the kind of analysis that people who watch CNN on a regular basis, people who watch MSNBC on a regular basis,
That's their source.
this
That's
is
their
what they're
primary
subject
source.
to.
That's it.
And it is such a disservice because Jim Acosta, who is not a dumb guy, he's not a super smart guy, but he's not a dumb guy. He knows that she's wrong about all of this.
But they let her go.
But yet he doesn't step in and try to get her back on the rails in any sort of way. So all the stuff she said about immigration was completely false. She talks about the American people didn't vote for mass deportation. Yes, they did.
Trump was very clear about that.
When you and Trump
Absolutely.
and if you listen to the NBC interview on Meet the Press, mainstream interview that he did on Sunday, he talked about people who are criminals, people who are drug dealers, people who are gang members coming from the prisons and the mental institutions. Those are the people that's the priority right there to get them out. Now, he's also not happy with anchor babies and chain migration and all the rest of that. But that's a conversation for another day.
Right.
When it comes to deportations, this is exactly what people voted for. And do you remember what she said in the middle of that rant? How she said Trump never talks about groceries and
really? Or the economy?
Yeah, the economy. He doesn't talk about that. Well, she must not have seen the interview with Kristen Welker on Sunday because this is the rebuttal to what she said. It takes him a second to get there, but play that clip of Trump when he was this clip when he was talking to Kristen Welker on Sunday on Meet the Press. And remember what she said about Trump doesn't talk about groceries and the economy. Here we go.
I'm really looking to make our country successful. I'm not looking to go back into the past. I'm looking to make our country successful. Retribution will be through success. If we can make this country successful, that would be my greatest. That would be such a great achievement. Bring it back. We have a country now that's overridden with crime, that has millions of people that shouldn't be here, that should be in prisons in other countries, that should be in mental institutions. We have drug lords being dropped into our country and told never go back to their country. I'm looking to make our country great. I'm looking to bring prices down because, I won on two things, the border and more than immigration. They like to say immigration. I break it down more to the border, but I won on the border and I won on groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries. I'm really
right there.
I haven't heard him talk about it. Really?
No.
Weird.
Well, listen to her rant. She's so smart. She knows what Trump is talking about and not talking about. She's dead wrong.
Dead wrong.
100%.
But they
wrong.
put her on CNN, unedited, unabated. Maybe they'll be like that one.
Yeah, because they don't care.
Well, maybe they have to be like that one network that after they had someone on there, they had to issue was it The View? Had to read corrections and legal notices, remember?
Oh, yeah, that dumb bitch, Sonny Houston.
Yeah, they kept having to read legal
I am told that I have to read this. You fucking ass clown.
I think the next 4 years are going to be just epic, and I'm looking forward to
There you go. Type your email in there, and you can forward it to yourself.
Oh.
That's
we're doing it live.
That's the Winstrip.
Damn it, we're
report.
doing it live.
Yeah, you couldn't.
I have it.
my email.
I didn't know I had it.
Well, there you go.
Jesus
Happy.
Christ.
There you go.
Don't say what it is.
I didn't say what it was. I
Fucking
just sent it
idiots.
to you.
Fucking
There you go.
idiots.
It's like working with
I didn't know if that was still a good email.
working with really smart people.
Wow. It's like we're with two fucking monkeys over
it's
here.
like Letitia James saying that
I
she
think
didn't campaign. She didn't go after Trump when she was campaigning.
Yeah, right.
I've got that cut too. Hilarious. But Lee, you want to play the one of Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Okay, this goes back to the pardon, and
This might get us hit, but I don't care.
well, okay, well, we're getting towards the end anyway, so
We'll see what happens.
so if we get knocked off the air, that's all right. But
well, no, they'll block it off.
yeah,
YouTube, but
there's a
whatever.
little music
I'll deal
accompaniment
with
with this one, but it's a great illustration of just how idiotic and what a sorry chapter in American history the Joe Biden president is going to be.
I just love watching this.
I going in history.
Yeah.
I love watching the Cincy chats.
All right, let's see.
Fucking stupid.
Right.
I love it though.
You call us stupid.
If you have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, $0.25. We passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says you're caught with that, you go to jail.
I posted a picture.
For 5 years. You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice. Under our forfeiture statutes, the government can take everything you own.
I'm going to be fat and retired.
Everything from your car to your house, your bank account, not merely what they confiscate in terms of the dollars from the transaction that you just got caught engaging in. They can take everything. I don't care why they become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society. They are in jail. Away from my mother. Your husband, our families.
Actually,
so I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street.
How classic is that? And props,
excellent.
huge props to whoever put that video.
That is
I didn't
epic.
put it together.
And
All
Dan,
I did was download it
when
off
you
my
sent
Twitter
it to me,
feed.
though, I was like, we may get hit, but I like it.
It's absolutely
I'm going to
classic.
play it anyway.
There's nothing. I mean, that's Joe Biden in his own words. And let me ask you this:
Well, talk about hypocrisy.
How
Holy
many
shit.
times? How many times have we heard the defenders of Joe Biden criticize people like the three of us sitting here when we point out Joe Biden's inability to string a couple of sentences together? Well, Joe Biden is well known that he's had a stuttering problem for ever since he was little.
Pretty fucking well spoken there.
When you listen to that video right there, do you detect any sort of stuttering or speech problem at all?
And that was 1994.
Yeah.
So just to put in perspective, 94 to now.
Yeah, 30 years.
I mean, I get, yeah, you
Do the math.
age a little bit, yeah,
Carry the one.
but you didn't go through life with the fucking stutter,
No,
and
yeah.
you got old, dude, and you couldn't do the job anymore.
Well-
and that's okay.
Well, the thing is,
That's okay.
if that was 30 years ago, his son was in his Hunter was in his 20s at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
And probably getting kicked out of the Navy for being a drug user.
Yes.
So he knew at
Yeah.
that time when he made this speech, there's a good likelihood that he knew that his son was engaged in all this activity that he's talking about, putting people away, keeping away from my mom.
I think
That
That was
kind of stuff.
David J said stuttering and.
the best part.
Marine's Blood's comment got taken down.
The best part about Joe Biden being judged is not only will he go down in history as really being one of the worst presidents of this country. That's not even questionable. I mean, I think at both sides, the Democrats will be disappointed, the Republicans will be, more strident in their verbiage. But
Nancy Pelosi said he should be on Mount Rushmore.
yeah, right.
You remember that?
I do remember that. But
You wanna
the
pull-
other thing that
Rick stuff.
the one that gives me pleasure is he failed as a president, and more importantly,
It will fade out.
he failed as a father.
Yeah.
Failed as a dog father. His dog bites everybody.
Fucking.
Failed as a human father.
What was his dog's name again?
Biter.
Outside of Biter.
Cujo. No
I
idea.
think it Major.
Ma-
was it
Maverick?
Major.
Maverick.
I think it was Major.
And
Major.
then
Major.
he failed
Something.
his. No, I feel bad that his son died from brain cancer. I do. I
You
think it
can't
was
help
brain
that.
cancer.
You
Right.
can't help that.
But he failed his other son. He failed his daughter. She's screwed up. I mean, what is? He's going to go
Was
down
it the shower that did it? Was it showering with dad? Was that?
I mean, he.
And then we're gonna get all
Yes.
bullshit because a diary entry got released. Weird.
Right? And he will go. He'll be judged as just an utter and complete failure on all. What is he good at besides graft and corruption and greed? I mean, I don't know.
Being a fucking government employee for like 50 years.
Yeah.
That's what he's good at.
And he's good at selling
But
out
he
the
realized
United States.
he realized at the end
to enrich his family with millions of dollars.
He realized at the end that he's
And
really
we'll
not
know.
good.
We'll know by the pardons. If he pardons his any more members of his family, like let's say that he pardons his brother,
Oh shit.
or anyone else that had any of the other myriad of his family members that had mysterious bank accounts that they had no business having, like LLCs set up. It's going to be really, really interesting. But again, we're not going to rehash. I love Trump's statement in that clip. He's not looking back. best revenge is to
Yeah.
go forward.
Yeah.
The
Fucking
best thing
just
you can
make it
do
happen.
is to take this country and push it on down the road and make sure, he does the best job he can for the country.
Well, essentially what he said was that he's got Pam Bondi for Attorney General.
Awesome.
He's got Kash Patel for the FBI.
Awesome.
And he said that's going to be up to them. If they look at this and they find something.
His dog was Commander Jay Hunt.
Commander, okay.
Commander, that's what
right.
it was.
Well, let's take a minute here to talk about our buddy Rick Barrick. And if when it comes time to borrow money, doesn't matter who you are, even if you're a rich guy like Pappas, there are always questions about this. So
sitting here lighting my
maybe we suggest you consider our friend Rick Barrick. Rick has been helping thousands of customers unlock the financing potential of their homes for more than 26 years now. His experience combined with Cross Country Mortgage, the second largest mortgage company in America, and that teams up to offer you a solution for every single borrower, whether it's a new home purchase, refinancing, low interest home equity line, or consolidating debt. Rick has all the options tailored to your unique situation. And if that situation involves a credit score, or maybe you've had a challenge in the past in getting a loan, you want to talk to Rick Barrick and see how he can help get you on the right path. Check out the number on your screen, 513-383-2923. And you can email Rick, rick.barrick@ccm.com. And you do that, you'll be one step away from personalized mortgage solutions.
NMLS number 18738.
You killed it.
You didn't even have to ask me. I had it. I was ready.
You're a fast learner.
So now you can read the 500 pages.
You are a fast learner.
Two more really, really quick stories, and then we'll get out of here.
All right.
Because I know you're tired, Dan. You've been at it for a while. Real quick.
Man, I got to watch Monday Night Football tonight, too.
You can come down to the post. We're going to be down at post 318 down on Clough Pike for the Bengals game.
6,600.
You can come down there and show your hate for the Bengals.
I don't hate
I'm
the
kidding.
Bengals.
I'm kidding.
I don't
I'm
hate
kidding.
the Bengals.
I'm not even going to pull. I'm not pulling these up on the screen. But how funny is this shit? With now Jay-Z is now linked to a lawsuit of gangbanging a fucking 13-year-old.
Oh,
that's just sick.
It's falling
That's just
into
sick.
all of the Diddy shit.
That's just sick. I mean, I got to tell you, that's just sick.
It's
that's
so
just
fucked
sick.
up.
Sick.
So that's the stuff that's hitting since the last time we podcasted. But yeah, so Jay-Z is vehemently saying that did not happen. Well, of course he is.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, let's let Trump get in. Let's see these lists. Let's see the list.
Well, I mean, isn't there supposed to be accompanying videos for all this stuff?
That's what they say. The Diddy,
right?
Mr. D.
Like, isn't there supposed to be videos of the other guy? What
the movie star guy?
No, the other guy, the guy who supposedly killed himself in prison. What's that guy? The rich guy.
Not movie star.
Epstein.
Epstein.
Yeah, and there's supposed to be a bunch of videos with the Epstein, orgies and all that stuff at the.
Supposedly, so
hell, I'll just settle for the list.
I think they're all on the list.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see videos. I just settle for the list, which is apparently supposed to be released.
But this is how this
Don't hold your breath on that.
This whole thing with Diddy,
Kash Patel's going to do it,
and how many people this has affected. Because now all of a sudden Jay-Z is now accused.
Isn't one of them married to Beyonce?
That's Jay-Z.
That's Jay-Z. Okay.
So
don't you know her last name Z? Beyonce Z.
No,
did not know that.
I did not know that.
Yes.
This young lady apparently tried to get into the VMAs. I'm giving the cliff notes of the story, but tried to get a VMA awards. What year was it? Doesn't matter. It was a little bit ago.
Is that a fro? Someone in that picture, go down. Is that a fro?
That's a hat.
That's a hat.
Oh,
That's a hat.
I can't see from here. It looks like a fro.
He's gone fro to
That was like
fro,
a 70s
whatever.
picture.
But
Dan
I
Carroll.
can't remember what year this article said, but now it's been filed once, and now it's been refiled, and now it's including Diddy into the lawsuit as well.
You know, that kind of died down, didn't it? You didn't heard a whole lot about that recently, other than that story.
Right. So now that, guess what? You kick a hornet's nest.
Yeah.
Guess what? The hornets start coming out.
Well,
the only other story that we had was just a recap on we covered the Edison, New Jersey town council where you weren't allowed to bring in props.
I heard they revised that.
The flag.
I heard they revised that.
They definitely,
due to public pressure,
definitely backed off.
We exposed that story on the
right.
One More and I'm Out of Here podcast, and they have reconsidered their position.
Coincidence?
I think not.
I think not.
Exactly. Well played.
So at this point, I want to give some props to the commissioners there in Edison, New Jersey.
No, I'm not giving any props. They're stupid. They brought.
Well, they're stupid, but at least they can read the room.
Well,
and do the right thing.
In typical political politician-esque behavior, once the public started screaming, they were.
But
like,
if you people in Edison vote for any of those nuts
again, you're an idiot.
That's on you.
You're an idiot.
It's already on you the first time, but then it's doubly on you.
Well, you were dumb the first time, but if you do it twice, you're an idiot. But something I would like to discuss, and we need to bring it up. It's the next show. We didn't even mention, and I see it's on Dan's inbox because I was going to mention it. The serious situation. I think this is going to be something we really need to look at and delve into. A lot of the people, we're not going to get into it now because it's just too big. But that's what she said. But a lot of people
never
to me. A lot of people, are saying, oh, Assad was a bad guy, which obviously was. Don't misunderstand me. But, Assad also, one of his things that they did do, there's a lot of Christians in Syria. And if Syria now becomes an Islamic state, like, we're and this guy and the guy running the country is a freaking terrorist. He's got a $10 million. You mentioned it this morning.
Yeah.
He's got a $10 million bounty on his head, and he's the freaking running Syria. So, I mean,
Joe Biden wants to partner up with this guy.
I mean, my point is,
Joe Biden can't wait to send him a boatload of money.
Sometimes the devil is better than the devil you don't know. And I'm not saying that I would prefer Assad to stay in there. That's not what I'm saying at all. But the way Syria is now spiraled out of control and being run by a terrorist with a $10 million reward on his head needs to be discussed because that's not good.
Have you seen the video of the strikes that Israel carried out on their ammunition supplies?
No, I haven't.
I mean, it is amazing.
Well, they're good at what they do.
I mean, the explosions that happened, right? The secondary explosions
just
when they hit the ammo dumps.
Boom, boom,
I mean, it goes on and on. It's absolutely amazing.
But that's something I think we should research and talk about because that's going to be, I put it this way. When I heard that news, I posted something. I was like, the world got a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned that, we still have 30 days left in this idiot's presidency.
But what's funny, though, is this guy has a $10 million bounty on his head, but yet CNN was able to find him last week and do an interview with him.
Why didn't they give him a pager from Israel? Hey, here, we'll page you when we need you.
Yeah, don't call us. We'll call you.
Take. No, seriously, take the pager. Take it. It's free. Don't worry about it.
That's classic.
That's awesome.
Hey, since you want to know if you had any desire to run for office,
no,
never again.
Zero.
Right.
I've been there, done.
I figured I knew the answer to that.
Well, let me tell you something. I'll answer that quickly. No, I gave 8 years of my life being in office. I enjoyed it. I thought I contributed. I made Anderson better than it ever was. That's not like Trump.
Tea party, baby, tea party.
But no, I paid my dues, and it's time for the next crop of people to come up and pay their dues, and I will wither into the ether.
There you go.
Well, I don't know about that, but
I like being snowmobile into the sunset.
You live your life and do what you want.
I like to have my opinion not be subject to people at public comments, ridiculing me for my opinions. Or not even ridiculing, just going off. There was Papist derangement syndrome occurring at the township back then.
That is a fact.
I think it still happens.
It's an absolute fact. So, fellas, I believe I have on my schedule next Sunday is our next show. So we've got 6 days to figure some things out, and we'll definitely cover that topic, and we will roll with it.
If anyone has any suggestions, just let us know. Yep. Please, anything you want us to talk about.
Make sure you rate, review, fucking hit subscribe.
We should also talk about like nice winter gardening tips.
Yes. Cover your plants. Cover your plants, people.
Indoor gardening on the next One More, and I'm at it.
Cover up your tender vegetation.
We will see you fuckers on Sunday.
Hey,
make sure you come back.
My mom's listening.
We love you. And we love the fact that you're here dealing with our bullshit. So thank you.
See you next time.
See ya.